Okay, so today we are going to cover about introduction to UiPath Studio. Okay, so this is whenever we launch Studio, UiPath Studio, we will see this screen. Okay, so where let's go about, this is the navigation screen. Okay, let's go about one by one to all the sections. So this section, this is the navigation section. Here we can see UiPath logo is there. Here we have the version. Okay, here version is written, it is 2022.4.1. Here we can see the license, which license currently UiPath Studio is having. So it is it is having community license. Okay, then we have in the different if you navigate to different section, we will be having different screens. So let's go to one by one. So whenever we click on the open, okay, whenever we click on the open, so one file explorer window will be open, and we can select any what type of file, project files, project.json file. Okay, that, or we can, from this drop down, we can change it to workflow files. So we can also see XAML files. Okay, XAML files. So either we can open XAML file, or either we can directly open JSON file. So I will come to that part. What is this workflow project file and what is XAML file? We'll come to that part later. So basically, if you already having some project you already created, and if you want to open it, okay, so by using open icon, we can open that. Now, then we have close. This is disabled, right? So if some project is already opened and if you want to close that, so by using this one, we can close it. Okay. Then we have a start. So in the start, we can see we are having 4 sections: open, open recent, new project, and new from template. Okay. So in the open, it is similar to this one. We can click on this, open a local project, and same file explorer window will be opened, and we can select the file to open any XAML or any workflow project files. Okay, then we have clone or checkout. So we are developing our code. Okay, we are developing the automation. Now we should have source control, because in same project, suppose 2-3 people are working, right? More than one developer may work in a same project, and at the same time both person have to work in the same project file or process. So in that case, we should have a source control. Okay, so there are 3 type of source control: Git, TFS, and SBN. So we can use any of the source control. Okay, we can connect to any source control and manage our code. So as you can see, means if I when I clicked on the source, this one, clone or checkout, it's directly navigated to the team. Okay, so when I will come to the team, I will cover this part. Okay, so for timing, we can just ignore this one. Then we have open recent. If we already opened some or any workflow file, any process, we can see the list here. By clicking on this, we can open the file. Okay, then we have a new project section. In the new project section, we can see we have process, we have library, test automation, and template. So usually, whenever we have to create a process, we should select this this option, process option. Okay, here we can see start with a blank project to design a new automation process. So this is whenever we are going to design a new automation, okay, we can select the process. Okay, then library. Suppose we want to build some reusable component, so that other person can reuse that component in their processes. So just to build a reusable component, we can also create a library. So this is the option we are getting to create a library, to create a reusable component, and we can publish those reusable component in orchestrator. So that reusable component will be hosted in the orchestrator, and anyone wants to use that component, they can utilize that. So we'll come to that. We'll create library as well, and we'll show how we can create a reusable component as well. Okay, so this is the high level of the studio we are going through. Okay, then we have a test automation. So by clicking on this, we can create a test automation project. So basically, test automation, when this is for testing, Okay, just like we have a Selenium for automation testing, we use Selenium, right? So here also we can do the same thing. RPA also we can utilize for testing purpose as well. Suppose some development team is there and they are building one application, they are building a web application, and we are a testing team. And testing team, as a testing team, we are going to do some automation testing. So this tool, RPA tool, UiPath tool, we can use for a testing purpose. So in that case, we have to create a test automation file. So template is nothing but that can also be a reusable code, I can say. Uh, mm, like some part is already developed, and by small modification, okay, by small modification, someone can use that. Okay, so their task will be reduced. They don't have to develop the code from very basic. Some part is already there and they just have to work on that part. They just have to modify a little bit. So in that case, we can create a template for our team. So you means one developer created a template, right? And other people can reuse that template by, and they can use, they can create process by modifying, by doing some little modification in the template. So here are the new form template. In the new form template section, here are some template is already present by these templates are created by UiPath. Okay, so just like we have a robotic enterprise framework, this is a template. Okay, this template is basically for transactional business process, and in this template all the best practices are followed. Okay, then we have a tool section. In the tools, basically UiPath comes with different tool, and this tool is useful for us in the automation. So we have a UI Explorer. If we click on this is a different application altogether, but this application comes with UiPath Studio itself. This is a part of, this is a component of UiPath Studio. Okay, why this UI Explorer is used? To communicate with user interface screen. Like we have this screen, suppose we have this page. Okay, so in this page, if we have to interact with this button, interact with these buttons, links, right? So how we are going to interact, those interaction will be developed in this UI Explorer. Okay, in this UI Explorer, we have to develop those code basically. Okay, so that is a tool basically which is provided by UiPath, which we can use, right? So here we can see this is how UI Explorer looks like. And here we can by clicking on indicate element. Okay, if you click on indicate element, let me, we can see, we can indicate, we can select any button. So what will happen, it will just basically get some attributes of that specific element. So basically this is to collect attributes. Okay, so anyway, I will we will explain this once we proceed further. We're going to do that. Then project dependencies mass update tool. So this is related to repository. Rarely we are going to use that, and this is for project whenever there are packages and dependencies which will be utilized. Okay, so that is related to that purpose. So generally we don't use it. Okay, so I'm currently just ignoring this part. Then we have a repair tool for Microsoft Office. So sometimes it is we can sometimes we will observe that our Microsoft Office tool is having some issue. Somehow UiPath will not be able to interact with Outlook or Word file, Microsoft Office product basically. So in that case, we can come here, and this is a tool. By using this tool, we can repair the Microsoft Office product. So this is also rarely automation developer may use. This is just a repair tool and nothing else, but we should know about this. Then extension, we are having different extension. So this extension is just to interact with different applications. Suppose we have to interact with Chrome. So to interact with Chrome, here is a Chrome extension, and we can see it's already installed. On a similar way, we have extension for Edge, we have extension for Microsoft Remote Desktop and Apps, VMware Horizon Client, Excel add-in, SAP Solution Manager, right? So in this way, we have different for different applications, we are having different components to interact with those. Then we are having plugins. So in the plugin section, we are having two sections, source control and test automation plugin. So for source control, as we already discussed, right, means basically we are having three type of source control here: Git, SVN, and TFS. So if two or more people are working together in a same project file, okay, then we should manage our code. We should manage our code so that there will be no conflict. So that's why we have to use the repositories or source control basically. Okay, so previously only Git was enabled. So by clicking on this button, we can enable SVN and TFS as well. Okay, then we have Test Explorer and Test Manager. So this is something to do with testing people, for testing team. So as I told, means if some in organization, some developers are working on a web portal, they are designing a web page, and we are the testing team, and we are going to test that application. Okay, so in that case, we are going to utilize this plugin. Okay, then we have templates. As we already discussed in the start tab, these are the template. So same thing is present here as well. This is nothing different. Okay, and here the thing is, we can search for any template, and who is providing that template, that we can also see. So for example, we have background process is one template, and who is the creator of this template? UiPath is the creator of this template. Here we can see the version number and the date when this template was released. So in a similar way, we can have a template from internal labs as well. Okay, so different templates we can explore here. Okay, now let's move to the next one, that is team. Okay, so generally we will see Git because I just enabled this one, right? So here I just enabled this two. So I have to restart the studio. Once I restart, I will see Git, SVN, and TFS, all these three. So here we can clone a repository. In the Git, if we are having a repository, we can connect to that repository, and whatever project we are developing here, we can store our code into that repository. So there are three types of repositories supported: Git, SVN, and TFS. Three type of source control is supported here. Okay, so yeah, we'll in the in the source control chapter, we will discuss about this in detail. Then we have a settings tab. In the settings tab, we are having different sections: general, design, locations, manage sources, license, and profile. So in the general, here we can change the language, the UiPath Studio language. So by default, it's English. We can select different languages for the UiPath Studio. Then we have a theme. Okay, currently it's a light theme. So we can also have a dark theme here. Okay. So this is something which is related to uses of data. Okay, but I don't know, means it's we are unable to enable it, but I think this is according to the license plan. Okay, and if we have a proper license, then only we are allowed to enable this. Okay, so this is not that much useful as a developer. And by clicking on this button, whatever changes we had done, we can reset those settings. Let's move to the design part. Okay, this is also, at this point, we may not understand all the points here. Okay, so because this is this is very technical. Okay, so basically for any code, means whenever we are creating the automation, so in the automation there are some properties which is going to be utilized. So those are the those details are present here. Just like, for example, for execution. Okay, whenever we are going to execute. Okay, so suppose if we click if we try to run a project. Okay, so what will happen? This studio will be minimized. So do we want to minimize our studio or not while running a project file? Okay, If it is enabled, then only studio will be minimized, otherwise it will not be minimized. Okay. And for run debug default behavior, what is the means, if I will, when I will open a project file, I will show you there is a play button to debug or to run. Okay, so by default, what properties, means what that button is going to do, that we can change here. So by default, it's a debug file. We can change that setting. So this is something related to few settings. You can go through these all settings and you can try to explore this. Then we have a location. So these are the different location where we are going to store our file. These are the default location basically. So if we are going to publish our project locally, okay, then we can give the path here. We can give the path here. We can give the URLs. URL means if we are going to publish our, we are going to publish our process. So where we are going to publish? Are we going to publish locally? If we are going to publish the locally, we can create give default path here. So nothing is written. Okay, by default, these are the empty. Here, this is the template where default templates are going to where default templates are going to be created. Okay, so these are just a default path. We can change this. Then manage sources. This is important. Manage sources is important because definitely we are going to use it many times. So manage sources is, suppose we have in our project, we have to use some framework, some pre-built package, some library basically. Suppose to send an email. Okay, some code is already written and we are just going to utilize it, but that code is not developed by us. That code may be developed by Microsoft. So in that case, if you want to get that code, so we can select the marketplace, right, or orchestrator host. If that package is hosted in orchestrator host, we can get it from there. Okay, from mygate.org. This is for orchestrator host. From there, we can download that package and we can utilize that package in our code. Okay, so these are the different path, I can say, different location from where we can download library files or packages. So we have a local. So locally, suppose we already got some package, so we can store in this path, in this folder path, and from there we can use that, we can utilize that package in our process. We have in the official, from the official website of mygate.org, we can get some package from there. We have a marketplace for UiPath, gallery.uipath.com. From there we can download packages for our to use. And when we installed UiPath Studio, some packages are also downloaded or also installed in this path. So from there also we can utilize some packages, some library files. Okay, and here we can define our own path. Suppose we want to present, we want to store some packages in C drive or maybe in the documents. Okay, so we can select the document here and we can give the package source name here, like document or whatever, document package, something, anything, and we can add it. Okay, so this will also be from there also. If any package file will be present, any NuGet package will be present, that will be utilized in our process. Then we have a section called license and profile. Okay, so here we can change local license. If you already have a license file, we can upload it. Okay, and we can change the license of our UiPath Studio. Here we can change the profile. If you click on this, we can see, we will see UiPath Studio and UiPath Studio X as an option. So while installing also, we got the same option. UiPath Studio is for professional RPA developer and UiPath Studio X is for citizenship developer, business user. Basically, they can also develop small tasks. So these are for that purpose. And then we have help section where we can navigate to different URL Okay, different like community forum, we have academy, means for UiPath is having academy portal, community forum portal. There we can navigate and explore. We can ask for any help in the community forum. We can, you know, uh, write any question. If you have any query which you are unable to resolve, you can write that, write those questions in community forum, and someone will respond. Okay, someone will respond and you will get the answer from there.